Hello and welcome to 20 Years of Impact, the space where we celebrated 20th anniversary of VI by diving deep into the transformative power of water operator partnership. I'm your host, Su Le Phu, and I'm so glad you are joining us for this milestone moment as we celebrate 20 years of impact, learning, and partnership in strengthening public water utilities. Over the past 2 decades, our organization has stood for one powerful belief that peer-to-peer collaboration can drive real lasting change. Through water operator partnerships, we have supported utilities around the world, not just to improve systems, but to empower the people behind them. And today we are driving into one of the most important, yet often overlooked drivers of transformation in our sector, leadership. In complex public utilities, facing financial strains, staffing challenges, and rising staffing demands, leadership isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. And over the years, our work has shown that when utilities leaders are empowered, visionary, and supported, real change follows. In this special anniversary episode, we will hear from two of our project leads who had worked brightly with utilities through WOPs while helping design, deliver, and embedded leadership development strategy at the heart of organization and growth. They will share what leadership transformation really looks like in practice, the breakthrough, the challenges, and the insight that came from years of working alongside utilities navigating change. This is more than a conversation about capacity building. It is a reflection on 20 years of growth and a look ahead at what kind of leadership will carry us into the next decade of water operator partnership. First and foremost, let's meet our first guest, Yona. Could you please introduce yourself and share a bit about your work in the project?
Hello, Sue. Thank you for inviting me. My name is Juna Manugas. I am the Deputy Project Manager of PWOP, which is Performance Enhancement of Water Utilities in the Philippines. It's one of the projects under the Waterworks program. And we started in the Philippines in 2018 for our phase one, which ended in 2021. We are now currently on our second phase, which will end of 2026. At the start of the project, we started with 4 utility partners in the central part of the Philippine archipelago, in the central region. Now on the second phase, we have 6 focus partners in the 2 big islands here in the Philippines. But aside from that, we also engage with other utilities. We call them satellite partners. So, yeah.
Thank you, Yona. Now, let's bring in a second guest. Hi, Daniel. Could you please introduce a little bit about yourself and your project?
My name is Daniel Tronach, and I am the project manager or country representative of VI in Ethiopia. And we have a waterworks project in Ethiopia, which is in Addis Ababa, in a place called Bahar Dar, as well as in a regional setting of what we call Oromia, which is Ambo, Mojo, and Dukam, and Bishoftu. So we work in those areas. 3 different water operator partnership in Ethiopia. We also have really other programs in Ethiopia other than from Waterworks, which is catchment management, integrated water resource management. We are trying to connect environmental degradation with a drinking water supply. There is a direct link between these two, and we want to establish the link. So we have a big program in integrated water resource management financed by the Netherlands embassy in Ethiopia.
Wow, both of your projects are really interesting. I'm really excited to know more about it. Shall we start with Daniel? From your perspective, what distinct qualities characterize your utilities leadership culture before the water operator partnership? And what specific aspect of the leadership deployment training were most transformative in your opinion? And how has this shift fostered greater improvement or collaboration within the organization?
When it comes to the leadership aspect, we have a completely different approach to leadership training approaches. It is not really a one-time training of the management, the top management or the middle management, but more of like empowering the entire Addis Ababa Water Storage Authority staff. I would say Addis Ababa Water Storage Authority has a very technical top-down leadership culture, whereby everybody is really like looking up to the management, and so are really like many utilities led. But we introduced what we call the field level leadership, FLL, we call it. That's a program of leadership by empowering staff at every level. We have trained over 2,800 staff, not just in management, but in ownership, in communication, and in teamwork. Through that, we saw really like a major shift of field staff leading with confidence, basically, leading also with a lot of creativity, instead of really like asking for their bosses to instruct them to do something. They were acting basically on the spot, instead of waiting for a vehicle to come and pick them. They were even using their own transport means. There was more initiative and ownership. So the supervisors became mentors, and teams collaborated across silos. The silos were really like broken. So we've managed also to reach that one. So instead of really like waiting for instruction, staff tackled problems creatively. And we've seen that in many different ways. What was initially impossible was possible, basically, by creative solution. So leadership become everybody's business, everybody's role as such. Not only the manager, but this was the foundation for a more agile, inclusive, and accountable utility. Through that, we have managed to train 2,800 staff in a training center of ours. That is basically the FLL program.
Yeah, it is really amazing. So, how about this, Yona? From your perspective, what have been the most noticeable shifts or transformation you have seen in the partner utility, especially when it comes to how their leadership has evolved?
Well, it's actually like a work in progress. It's not actually like an immediate change, but one of the recognizable change that we've noticed specifically in leadership is there's like a shift already, or they're trading in the top-down or the traditional way of doing things to a more collaborative approach. We're talking about, shaking off decades-old culture that the water utilities have clung to or have learned over the years. But it's great that we're slowly seeing a shift. Instead of the leaders or the management just barking orders, the leaders now are starting to listen, to actually listen, to welcome feedback, and they're involving their teams more, especially in decision making. So this kind of change is brewing up a culture of trust and empowerment. because it's not just a few people deciding for what's good for the organization, but involving more people. So everyone feels valued, and they're more eager and more open to share their ideas.
Yeah, it's nice. Inclusion in every step of the work. Yeah, it's really wonderful and impressive. I have another question. So, in your experience, what are some of the most common leadership challenges you see in the utilities?
Okay. Well, resistance to change. That's very common. Poor communication, and then the disengagement of the staff. This kind of challenges is not really unique to our partners, but I think you would agree that these are like very common leadership issues in general in any organization. To address these, PWOP had actually rolled out targeted leadership strategies, including workshops and appreciative inquiry. So appreciative inquiry, think of it as like a treasure hunt for like strengths, where you spotlight on what works and turn challenges into opportunities. So in the traditional way of doing things, the knee-jerk reaction, if there's a problem that would come up, is that it's like the immediate thing that we would think is that what went wrong? Whose fault was it? Who did not do their job well? And that doesn't feel good, of course, but this approach actually gets everyone. So from the leaders to the staff, you focus more on the possibilities because, of course, we learn from our mistakes, but we grow or we develop from our successes for what went well. And then we also pair up with emerging leaders, with seasoned mentors to create a culture of continuous learning and support.
Yeah, I can agree more with the challenges. I think that these are the most common challenges that almost every water utilities have. And I really like the treasure hunt and also about the mentoring. So could you please tell us more about it?
Well, it's not actually something that BWOP started. It's something that the water districts here in the Visayas region, or in the Philippines in general, had started. They call it benchmarking. So they visit, they find out what's working on this utility, and then they try to apply it on their own. There are, we call them Big Brother water utilities that sort of serve as a mentor, or especially if they're more experienced, they share it to the other water utilities as well.
Nice. Thank you, Yona. So let's talk about finance now, Tanya. Beyond basic budgeting, what new approaches to financial resilience and revenue generation did your utility adapt or refine as a direct result of the water operator partnership support? Can you elaborate on how these changes have strengthened your utilities' financial foundations and reduced reliance on external dependency?
You see, before the water operator partnership, AUSA, Addis Ababa Water and Storage Authority, was more focused mainly on budgeting and cost control to a certain extent. But together, we introduced strategies to build financial resilience, improving revenues, collection efficiencies, and then customer data updating, and moving towards cost-effective but socially responsible tariffs. We also tackled non-revenue water, which was really like the elephant in the room, whereby 40 to 60% of water is lost because of commercial or technical losses. And piloted smart billing systems. And we are now piloting even into a DMA monitoring. We have created, district monitoring areas, but we are now monitoring them, or we're introducing a monitoring system. These steps reduce financial leakages of the utility and created space for reinvestment and increase in the customer portfolio. So the FLL training reinforced this by promoting accountability, resource optimization, and customer trust within AUSA. The result, a utility is less dependent on external funding and more financially sustainable for the long haul. And also resolving all the backlogs in terms of really auditing and what more. The utility is now up to date with its finances that can be presented to donors, because the donors are interested, what have you been doing in the last 5 years? Can we see your books, basically? And that is now completed and can be really presented to any potential donor, which could come and give loans or credits and what more.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Dania, for sharing this with us. So let's now talk about the human capital. How did the Water Operator Partnership specifically address gaps in your workforce development or employee engagement strategies? Can you share how new HR policies or training programs have contributed to a more skilled, motivated, and productive staff?
We are now basically, venturing into the area of human capital and workforce development, I think. That is really like one of our proudest achievements with the training of 2,800 staff members in leadership, in communication, in coaching, and customer services. This went far beyond technical training in transforming the workforce culture. FLL is a powerful tool. It's not really like a one-time training in a sense that, you'll be trained for 1 or 2 days and then you'll go back and you forgot it on the classical way of really like training. No, this is really like an intensive 5 days training in-house. Then it's the management. It is from the janitor to the manager. They are sitting together in one room, basically. Barefoot, everybody is equal when you are sitting there. You don't act like I am the manager or I am the subordinate. No, this is basically staff member coming together. So, what it can create is a sense of really like ownership and belongingness for everybody. So every week after the training, the general manager will go there. Will go there to graduate the trainees. And I also go in many different occasions during graduation. And the kind of story that I hear is it's just inspiring, basically, from the staff member in terms of really like their belongingness, what they felt when they came and what they felt today, basically. That was really like the day where we will basically award the certificates of the training. So ALSA has updated its HR system now. They have improved onboarding, the new people, inducting new people who are coming, performance feedbacks, and clear career paths are basically built within ALSA. As I earlier mentioned, staff now take initiative, share ideas, feel ownership of their work, and they work also creatively. FLR also created strong team bond then through that. Each training group formed a kind of a family. They call each other a family as well after 5 days. There are people who got married also. That was not really like the objective of the training, but they met there and they ended up really like getting married as well. There is also that element that effect. Pride is fostered and unity within the staff. So the program built future leaders, and improved morale and strengthened retention of outside work staff, which is really like more skilled, motivated, aligned with the mission of AUSA. So the huge progress when it comes to the human capital as well in AUSA. There is no really like a feeling of, okay, I will go there, I will do my job, and I will go home. No, it's basically my institution. I can wear the hat of AUSA or the t-shirt of AUSA. There is nothing to be ashamed about my utility. It is my utility. And creating that ownership is not an easy process, but people are really like proud, and I am also extremely proud about the achievement when it comes to that one.
Fantastic. So let's now talk about the leadership, transform leadership, Yona. So how about strong transform leadership facilitated by Water Operator Partnership as a fundamental catalyst for other critical organizational improvement? For example, could you please provide how new leadership approaches have enabled better human resource management or smoother organizational change processes, or maybe more adaptive overall utility culture?
Well, this new leadership styles, I think at least for us, work is about open communication and teamwork. This I think gives the employees morale a serious boost and keeping talent in the fold. That in itself, the management going into that also that shares or shows a lot about the culture of collaboration and transparency, which our relationship in the WOP had also contributed to. So it's a refreshing break. Because open communication and teamwork, aside from giving the employees a morale boost, it also keeps talent in the fold. It's a refreshing break because from top-down, or old school top-down approach, where orders trickle down and everyone just follows along. With storytelling, which is an appreciative inquiry treasure, staff can share their truths, their dreams, their appreciation for the organization. So the organization knows also what their dreams are for the company. And then management is bringing everyone in the planning and the change process, which makes transition smoother and getting everyone on the same page. So basically, this adaptive culture empowers the utility to tackle changes head on and seize new opportunities.
Great. And we all know that sustaining change is as hard as starting it. So from your experience, what are the most effective strategies to ensure the sustainability or leadership development within WOP partner utilities?
Well, to keep the leadership growth thriving in our partner utilities, we need trainings that keep up with the times. Of course, some trainings are no longer applicable or effective in this time with this new generation that's coming in also. So, well, that's why mentorship, of course, mentorship is always a good idea since it creates a next generation of trainings. We also have a program in the project where we call it the Train the Trainers program, where if we see there's potential in the local utility staff who can retain the knowledge and pass it on to somebody else. So we have programs for that one as well. I also believe that you need to have a clear roadmap. At least, so like if there's a framework, so you know where to go. It might not always go into plan, but at least you know where to go. And then, of course, let's not forget to celebrate leadership wins. Even if it's tiny, it's small, it's important to acknowledge and to celebrate that as well. And foster a culture of accountability to keep the development still growing and going smoothly also.
Yeah, that's true. Usually we focus on the big picture deeply and neglected about the small win. So thank you for reminding us, celebrate every small win. I think it is also really nice to remind us. So how about you, Dania? We all know that implementing large-scale organizational changes often comes with its own learning curve. What were the biggest lesson your utility learned about effectively implementing and sustaining the new practice and policy introduced through the Water Operator Partnership? How did you ensure these changes became ingrained in your utility's daily operation and culture?
Excellent. Good question. You see, it's all about sustainability. Yeah, it's all about how do we sustain change. Yeah? And that should be always the question of development advisors. When we start something, okay, is it really like we do it today and then how is the utility going to embrace it and to make it part of its programs, its ongoing program? What is the scale of this program as well? Because every investment that we make is huge as an initial seed fund, but if the return of our investment can only be gained when there is a scale up. What will happen is big change takes more than training. We cannot really limit it only to training. It takes internal champions. And we have managed to create really champions together with OUSA. We embedded FL principles into daily operation, because when they completed the training, they will make a plan for the 3 months. What am I going to do on a daily basis on the coming three months? Basically, they will pledge to their staff or to the family. Their one family. It is embedded in the daily operation through leadership reflection sessions, coaching, and cross-departmental problem solving. The interaction is also is huge, because the manager is meeting the janitor, basically, and vice versa. So this wasn't a one-time pass. It was about building habits, systems, and mindsets that last. Staff and management now speak a common language on collaboration, responsibility, and continuous improvement. The result, a utility that owns transmission or transformation and is ready to lead forward on its own theme. And I was asking the general manager, why do you go every week during the graduation? Because the place where the training is taking place is outside of the center of Addis. So it takes you maybe 45 minutes to get there. So, so where do you get the time to go every week there? And he told me, this is my only occasion to meet my staff, to know my staff, to hear what they are thinking, and then to act upon that. I can put them together in one big room and hold discussion of a few hours, and then a couple of people will talk, and then it will be a normal kind of meeting. But here I'm meeting only 30 people, because it's 30 people that is the capacity of the training center, basically. Yeah? It's 30 people that are being trained. So every week he meets 30 people, and it was also a good induction for him. What is my staff thinking about? What do they feel should be changed? What is it that I can change? What is it that I can continue with? So in a very informal environment, without any punitive measures or what more, people can freely speak, and you understand the utility much better and his staff much better. The training center now has trained people from another region like Bahardar, Again, another region in what is called Oromia, they have trained people from Kenya, they have trained people from Mozambique, and they are basically receiving all kinds of, I would say, demands, from other utilities to come and be trained. So therein also sustainability is embedded, whereby the training center is now basically also training other municipality staff. They are using the training center, because sustainability of the training center is also crucially important to continue its its existence. Sustainability ensured through these processes within the utility.
Yeah, good point. We are nearly at the end, but I want to zoom out a little bit. Looking back at your water operator partnership journey, how would you define the ultimate success of this organizational transformation for your utility? What enduring strategic advantage do you believe these changes will provide for your utility and the communities you serve in the coming decades?
Okay, now we are basically, talking about really defining success and long-term impact. For us at VI, true success is the cultural shifts we helped unlock. What began as a technical partnership became a human transformation, where leadership, financial health, and workforce capacity reinforce each other. ASA is now more resilient, more responsive, and more trusted by its community. It stands as a model for utilities across the entire country. FLL, its legacy is not just better metrics, but better mindsets, a utility where people at every level drive progress. That's a long-term with win for AUSA and for the people of Addis Ababa. The utility has embedded it within their own program, within their own training center. So its sustainability is ensured. Both the staff as well as, and it has its own master trainers trained. And at the moment we have 29 master trainers trained, and they are spreading the gospel, so to say, to other utilities. So there is a long-term impact, and there is a lot of international attention to it as well, because the collaboration of FLL was done with the World Bank. So, and through that as well, it got a lot of attention as well internationally.
Thank you, Danielle, for sharing this with us. And how about you, Yona? Looking ahead, what is your project long-term vision for the enduring impact of empower and transform utility leadership on overall utility resilience, operational independence, and ultimately sustain improvements in service delivery to communities?
Right. So PWOP, the PWOP project aims to create a lasting impact by empowering the utility leadership to boost resilience and independence. We picture a future where the utility leaders are, savvy decision makers and prioritizing sustainability and community engagement. I mean, it's not just, the basic services and all that. This transformation will not only enhance service delivery, but also ensure that communities enjoy reliable, top-notch water services. And all the while, of course, let's not forget building trust and collaboration between the utility and the people it serves.
It's awesome, Yona. Thank you so much to both of our guests. Daniel and Yona, for your thoughtful insight and for your dedication to this important work. As we reflect on 20 years of water operator partnership, one message remains clear. Real sustainable progress doesn't come from quick fixes or top-down models. It comes from people, from leaders who grow in confidence, who take ownership, and who inspire others to do the same. This episode has been a tribute not just to the projects and partnerships that have shaped our journey, but to the leaders who have made that journey possible. We hope these stories spark reflection, conversation, and perhaps even a renewed commitment to building leadership where it is needed the most. Thank you for joining in. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode, or explore more on our 20 years anniversary series, 20 Years of Impact. As always, keep leading the change. Bye bye.